AITA for making my daughters wear dresses when they visit their grandparents? My in-laws are what you would call traditional. They seem to think the world should have stopped 50 years ago, and think everything since then is evil. They aren't racist, that I know of, or outwardly bigoted, but they just are very old-fashioned. My husband and I have 3 children, 16F, 14F, 10 meters, and we go to visit all their grandparents since they live close. Here's the issue. They don't like the idea of women wearing pants. My Mill says it's showing off, and my Phil always says it isn't Christian. Now I'm pretty feminine, so I don't mind throwing on a dress when we stop by. But our daughters are not. They don't like visiting my husband's parents, which breaks his heart, because we make them put on a dress before they go. They are both pretty tomboyish, and they never wear any dresses otherwise. I had to buy each of them a few dresses specifically so they can go. To be clear, it's not like they aren't allowed over if they wear pants. It's just that they won't shut up the entire time about how much they hate it. Our daughters hate this, and think it's unfair. I guess it is. But in a lot of cultures women only wear skirts and dresses, so I don't think it's a big deal. Plus it isn't like it hurts them to wear a dress a few times a week for a few hours. The issue is our oldest is planning to never speak to her grandparents again after she's 18. And I'm worried it's affecting them. YTA. Women wore pants 50 years ago. And QHY are the girls over at their place so much? If your in-laws are not able to actually respect them? YTA. I know it seems like it's just easier to get them to wear a dress, but it's sending them the message that their feelings and comfort aren't as important as other people's. Their grandparents should love them for them, not if they wear what they consider appropriate clothing. It's not 1950 anymore. Parents need to accept things are different, and you need to support your kids. You are on the wrong side of history here. Without question. YTA. My grandmother used to fight with my dad about me not wearing dresses to church. God, I hated dresses. My grandmother was born before 1900. She had some very outdated ideas. And my dad was not exactly a hero dad in many ways. But in this aspect he stood up for me. Hard. Against his own mother, who he loved and admired very much. But on this he would not allow her to try to teach me that I had to follow these ridiculous expectations. I overheard it once, and it stayed with me for life. It mattered in many ways. It is really important to stand up for your girls on this. I don't think you understand how significant it is that you're failing to do it. YTA. And being forced into skirts, dresses against their will may well be part of why your daughters hate visiting. If you let them wear shorts or pants, your in-laws would have to learn to accept what they cannot change, or learn to live without their granddaughters when they alienated them enough that they refuse to come. The fact that some cultures don't accept women's rights is a terrible excuse for imposing on your daughters. Plenty of cultures are accepting of parents beating their children. Would you use that as an excuse to occasionally hit your children? YTA. My grandparents were like your in-laws. And my parents were like you. I cut off my relationship with my grandparents after I graduated from high school. And I went low contact with my parents for years thereafter. I expect that your daughters will do the same. If you want to destroy your relationship with your daughters, keep doing what you're doing. YTA. Not only will your kids cut off contact with the grandfolk when they're old enough, they'll cut off contact with you too. You'll have no one to blame but yourself. YTA. You're basically telling them that they need to change who they are to please other people. Other people's perceptions of your daughters is more important than how they feel about themselves. The world has evolved and the grandparents will have to accept that. Age and close-mindedness is no exception. My Mill says it's showing off, and my Phil always says it isn't Christian. This, right here, is the problem. YTA for letting your in-laws treat your daughters this way. YTA. I see your logic about how women in other cultures have to dress a certain way. But there are a few key points here. 1. Women in other cultures also don't like being told what to wear. 2. In this culture, most people no longer approve of telling women what to wear. 3. These grandparents sound like ungracious and insufferable people regardless of whether their preferences in female clothing are adhered to. So why are we trying so hard to appease them? YTA. You are telling your daughters that they have TK conform to outdated sexist stereotypes to appease these relatives. What are you going to do when they say women shouldn't have opinions about politics and let their husbands decide for them who to vote for? These little battles may seem small, but the underlying message they send is huge. YTA. I guess it is. But in a lot of cultures women only wear skirts and dresses, so I don't think it's a big deal. That's true. But they didn't grow up in that culture. You're forcing them to pretend to be something other than who they are for people who are supposed to love them for who they are. I don't blame your oldest for wanting to go no contact with her grandparents, but you'd better be careful with how far you push this, because if you're not, she'll go no contact with you too. Edit. Here's the issue. They don't like the idea of women wearing pants. My Mill says it's showing off, and my Phil always says it isn't Christian. Question. Aren't dresses showing off more by revealing their legs? Honestly, you are teaching your daughters that it is okay to be bullied by their own family. Only the elderly deserve respect? And men. Wrong message. YTA. You're teaching them their comfort doesn't matter and it's their responsibility to cater to how other people think they should dress and act. It's misogynistic and gross. Stop it. YTA. You're not listening to your kids. You're making them wear a dress for other people's beliefs and comfort. They expressed they hate wearing dresses and you still make them. Your eldest daughter is already saying she's not going to speak with them when she's 18 for this reason, and you're still dismissing their feelings towards it. YTA. Why do your in-laws' sexist ideals matter more to you and your husband than your children? Let your kids be who they are. Why are your daughters responsible for conforming just to avoid conflict? This request is not reasonable. Your kids should dress in a way that makes them feel comfortable, and your husband should manage his parents. YTA. Yes. YTA. Why would you encourage your kids to be around people who wouldn't love them as they are? YTA. A lot of cultures discriminate against women. That doesn't make it not a big deal. That's disgusting logic. Please don't teach your children that discrimination is okay, because it happens in lots of places. And this is not an excuse. They seem to think the world should have stopped 50 years ago. I don't know where you are from, of course. But at least in the US, we were far past that 50 years ago. I'm close to 60 and still remember my favorite pants from kindergarten, my brown stretchy pants with the sewn-in seam down the front. Heck, my mom is in her 80s and she was wearing pants as a teenager. Pedal pushers were a fad in the 1950s. 70 years ago. YTA. I promise you, as a woman who grew up in the South amongst these traditional people, they are all bigoted. Maybe you don't see it, but I promise you, if they feel that way about girls wearing dresses, they also don't approve of LGBTQIA+ folks or the rights of women to their own bodies. I don't blame your daughters for hating going there. And I don't blame them for wanting to go and see when they can. Stop forcing your children to adhere to a dress code from 1965. YTA for ignoring your kids' feeling as well as passively endorsing your parents' behavior. You're teaching your kids it's not okay to stand up for themselves and that other people's feelings are more important than theirs. Appalling. So you're deaf the awe. If it were me, I'd show up with my son in a skirt and my daughters in jeans.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. AmITheAsshole is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.